Comparing the tree from the start of this session to the finished result, it's a dramatic shift. Honestly, it might look like I've went a bit too far and maybe I pushed the boundaries a bit on this one, but I truly believe this is what the tree needed at this stage.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bonsai with Romano. Hope you guys are doing well. So this year, I'll be taking you guys through the process of trimming back this tree and wiring some of the branches as it lost some of its structure. I did work on this tree about a year ago, where I showed you guys exactly the 3 steps that I take to maintain these trees in autumn. This year, however, I'm going to show you the second round of work that I do on this tree. So if you look at this tree and you look at the footage of last year, you will see there's quite a bit of difference in the foliage. So this year, the foliage is a lot more denser. The color is a bit more brighter. So the reason for that is it's twofold. The first thing is I started using less high nitrogen fertilizers on these trees. So if you guys follow me on social media and all the other platforms, you would see that I've been using Ibatech quite a lot lately, and Ibatech has less nitrogen, so it gives you shorter shoots. So that's something that I want for this stage of the development of this tree. So high nitrogen you use to make trees grow faster in the earlier stages, but as the tree matures you want shorter, denser growth. So that is why I use that specifically. Then the other thing is I put the tree in full sun. So this tree's been in full sun, and when the trees are in full sun, the foliage and the leaves obviously is shorter because it gets a lot more sun. So it tries to get the surface that the sun shines on the leaves and makes it a bit smaller. The tree is also a lot more healthier than it was last year. So I might be repotting this tree next year. I'll give it some time to recover after the wiring and the pruning that I'm doing on it now. And then also something that I really want to highlight is that we always try and style junipers and get a quick result, but building the structure after the main styling has been done over years makes the bonsai and the age a lot more believable. So as Earl from the Bonsai Clinic mentioned in one of the interviews that I did with him, my garden route tour, good bonsai takes time, and showing you the results from last year and what I'm doing this year should show you how the foundation of this tree is built over time, and not just styling it the first time and leaving it to grow. So good bonsai takes time. So let's dive into the work that I'm going to be doing on this tree and see how it turns out. Okay.
So here's what we'll be doing with the tree this year. Number 1, trimming back the tips. I'm going to lightly trim back the tips of this year's extended growth. This helps maintain a silhouette and encourages internal growth rather than long leggy shoots. I started from the bottom and I worked my way up the tree, one branch at a time. Now is a good moment to point out that this soft green foliage that you're trimming now, you're actually guiding the tree's future branch structure, determining the direction that you want the branches to grow in. It's a crucial step. What you want to do here is remove the center shoot, the one that typically grows straight out, and leave 1 or 2 side growing leaves. These lateral shoots will help you build movement and taper over time. You can always come back and remove more if needed, but you can't put something back that's been cut off. So always work with the tree's health in mind. If in doubt, leave a bit more than you think is necessary. This entire trimming and structural cleanup took me about an hour and 20 minutes to complete. It's a slow and careful process, but one that really lays the foundation for a good design. Number 2, opening the structure. Just like last year, I'll thin out the internal foliage to improve airflow but let in more sunlight. This encourages back budding closer to the trunk, giving us more design options and better ramification down the line. Junipers are slow to develop, but consistent care like this, done at the right time, builds structure and strength over the years. It's patient work, but the payoff is always worth it. Once the trimming was complete, I began removing the moss that crept up the trunk. This buildup happened because the tree's dense canopy was shading out that area, and with all the recent rain, moisture lingered, allowing moss to thrive. After cleaning the trunk, I moved on to creating a few gins and carving a sari that ran all the way from my older gin at the lower part of the trunk, connecting to a newer one near the apex. I like to decide where the placement of my gins and saris will be before wiring the tree, so I can factor them into the final silhouette. One concept that I've been exploring more and more in my recent designs is the use of empty space. Last year at the ABC6 convention, the theme was the Ma in Bonsai, which refers to the space between things, the pause, or the intentional gap in a composition. That really hit home for me. Growing up, I was surrounded by art. My mum was always painting or creating something. Naturally, I started painting too, but I always wanted to fill in every gap. If there was a white space on the page or the wall, the painting was never done. So, discovering the Ma was eye-opening. I started to see the power of restraint, the beauty in intentional pauses that let the viewer fill the story with their own imagination. It's something I now strive to build into every bonsai design. Number 3. Wiring branches for movement and spacing. We'll be wiring the primary and the secondary branches gently to refine movement and improve spacing. This opens up the canopy and lets light penetrate the interior buds. As always, I started wiring from the lowest branches, working upwards. I always use the thickest wire first and then I layer in with finer wire for smaller branches. This layering allows for strong anchoring. By wrapping wires over each other or around opposing branches, you prevent movement during bending. When bending a branch, remember, if you want to bend the branch to the left, you need to wrap the wire clockwise so that the wire tightens when you bend the branch. Always keep the wire direction in mind. It's a methodical process and it can be tedious at times. Wiring isn't my favorite task, but when done right, it delivers excellent results. As I progressed, I had to use Raffia to support one of the heavy bends. Raffia helps to hold the cambium layer tight against the wood during heavy bends, preventing cracks or breaks. I soak my Raffia in water before applying it, as dry Raffia is brittle and prone to snap under tension. It's a reminder that bonsai isn't just about what you do in a single day. It's about what you do over seasons and years. As Saburo Kato said, bonsai isn't the result, it's what comes after. Your enjoyment. That is what is important. After all the wire was placed, it was time to style the tree. I began again at the bottom, setting each branch individually. The goal here was to create foliage pads that would fill over time. I removed any foliage underneath and then I bent the tips of the pad slightly upwards. This mimics the natural way branches behave. The weight pulls them down while the tips reach for the sun. After placing each branch, I stepped back to view the entire design. It's important to see the tree from a distance. Up close, it's easy to lose perspective. Walking away and coming back gives you a fresh eye to catch imbalances and awkward lines. And just like that, the transformation was complete. Comparing the tree from the start of this session to the finished result, it's a dramatic shift. Honestly, it might look like I've went a bit too far, and maybe I pushed the boundaries a bit on this one. But I truly believe this is what the tree needed at this stage. Sure, I could have continued with light annual trims, but the underlying structure was just not where I wanted to be. That's why I chose to take it a step back. Thankfully, this tree was healthy and strong. Otherwise, I couldn't have done the level of work that I did. In general, I avoid removing 30 to 40% of the tree's foliage, but in this case, I think the heavier hand saved some time in the long run. Now, it's up to the tree to respond. Over the coming months, I'll be monitoring the recovery and checking regularly for wire bite. To wrap up, this tree is doing well. Foliage is lush and healthy. The structure has evolved beautifully, and today's work was all about refining and preparing it for the next phase. We worked on the tree just a few days later than we did last year, and while the weather is colder and wetter this time around, it's still the right moment. With heavy pruning, some detailed wiring, and some structural cleanup, we positioned this tree for yet another strong growing season. And remember, good bonsai takes time. Every season adds something. This juniper is becoming a quiet reflection of this sturdy process. If you're curious about how this tree started its transformation, go check out the first video where we covered the essentials 3 steps for autumn care. You'll really see how far this tree has come.